Good morning. I am delighted by two things here. One is that such a great audience, the room is full. Second is the thing is, I have a chance to meet Dr. Chatterjee personally. Thank you, sir. I have been trying to meet him since at least a decade. And thank you, Dr. Bhatia, for giving me this opportunity. I'm a big follower of Dr. Chatterjee. The reason being that I'm a core sustainability person. But when I was in San Francisco in 2014, I met the group who developed this concept called CSV, creating shared value. And I met the team, and then I realized that shared value is the way to go, and that is where actually you bring harmony between the businesses and the society. Because the business per se doesn't run as a standalone entity. Business runs with the resources of the earth and the people from the society. So when they bring the resources and people together, then the businesses are created. Of course, they do marvelous things. They create values for the society. So that is how the economy grows. But the most fundamental is the resources on earth, the physical resources, the biological resources, and then human resources. I like what Sasha said. If you take care of the human being, well-being of the human species, they take care of everything very well. If your mind and heart is pure, if you are good, your decision is good. Suppose you don't want to damage something, you don't want to damage nature. That is what your inherent quality. Then you don't create pollution. You don't misuse resources, natural resources. And that is how you can create sustainable society. So I think this harmony and what Dr. Chatterjee had done some 8 or 10 years back is actually mind-boggling. It has created a very different kind of system in India, at least. It has improved transparency. It has improved accountability. And the vision of making India one of the global power plus one of the developed countries, I think will be realized through this particular vision. And thank you, sir, for your immense contribution in this field. As I said, I'm a core sustainability person, and for last 27 years, 28 years, and I will talk more from certain things that probably you know and you may not know. Today, suddenly post-pandemic, ESG has become a very big buzzword. I think all of us know that. And this has become a buzzword because the investors are taking their targets to make companies sustainable. They say, we will invest in companies if you are taking the right decisions, implementing the right things, and getting the right results, and both in all three dimensions, that is environment, social, and governance. Total scope is nearly 50 trillion USD, the scope of ESG, and it is going to grow to 125 trillion USD by 2025. So that's the amount of opportunities. And most investment comes, more your business grows, and then the society, the economy grows, and then society gets benefited. So, but somewhere you have to make this balance, right? So let's talk about the environmental dimension. Although we know environmental dimensions, everybody knows what is happening in climate change, everybody knows what is happening in water, natural resource depletion. But something which is very critical to understand is that there is a nexus. There is a nexus between different components in nature. Today, we are talking so much about climate change primarily because in the last 250 years, the temperature of the Earth has gone up by almost 1 degree centigrade, average temperature. You know, the average temperature of 1 degree means somewhere it is minus 20 degrees, somewhere it is plus 20 degrees. So there is a huge amount of chaos happening because of this. And today, you know, so much of floods you see, so much of cyclones you see, it's only because of that. That 1 degree temperature difference is making so much of difference. Imagine we cross 2 degree or 3 degree or 4 degree, we'll have a horrible time. I mean, it will be complete chaos all over the world. That is why businesses across the world and the leaders around the world, including the United Nations, they're all trying to cap the temperature rise by 1.5 degree. That is by 2030, we should limit it to 1.5 degree rise. If it is more than 1.5 degree, then we will be in a very, very unsustainable world. And if it goes to 2 degree, like 2050 target is 2 degrees centigrade. So leaders around the world, like I have attended some of these conference of parties, and I've realized that that is where a lot of these decisions are taken on climate change. And the last the conference of parties in Paris was actually a game changer, because that is where the CSR rule, it was a game changer for the world for climate change rules. And that is where companies have started taking targets. Like in Larsen Toubro Ltd, we have taken a target of becoming carbon neutral by 2040 and becoming water neutral by 2035. And it is not only we have committed, but we are working on very ground level on how to enable that to happen on year-on-year basis, on month-on-month basis. So this is how most of the bigger companies are taking targets, and with BRSR, that is the Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting Framework of SEBI, which was launched in 2021, but this year from 2023 it is mandated for top 1,000 listed companies. And as I understand that the scope will expand every year. Maybe it will become 5,000 companies, 10,000 companies, and it will go on expanding. And that BRSR is a mandate. Companies have to follow. And there, all the aspects of environment, social, governance, everything is there. So it is not that you just record the data or report the data. You are also responsible for that. You are also responsible for delivering. You are also responsible for improving performance year on year. So these things will keep coming, and organizations, proactive organizations are taking a lot of good steps, but laggard organizations must wake up and see that these are, apart from doing businesses, creating values, we must do something beyond that, and we must work towards capping this temperature so that we don't live in a world where there is chaotic situation. Floods happening everywhere. Temperature rising so much that your AC doesn't work. Suppose temperature goes beyond 50, 55 degrees, your AC will not work. What do you do? Right? So we should not get into that situation. So globally, in fact, the best example or the best situation that happened on climate change is that during COVID, every activity stopped. So global, CO2 emission dropped. But you cannot do that. That is a forced situation. You cannot do that. On a normal day-to-day situation, we have to accept that the activities will be there, but at the same time, we have to have, we have to make sure that the activities are climate friendly, the activities are green, and there is a less emission. I don't want to talk about emission, the technology of emission, because I think many of us know, and also that's a separate level of discussion. But there are many other areas, many other things that we need to think about. Another big thing which is gaining traction is circular economy. Now, we are living in a world of take, make, and just throw. Take the resource, make something, just throw it. We just throw it to the dustbin or just throw it outside our premises, and you don't care where it is going. But the resource on this earth is finite. It is not infinite. There is no planet B. So there is only one planet, and the resource is finite. Now, there are many of the elements which are in nature those elements are getting exhausted. Like in next 10 or 15 years down the line, many of the elements that we use in our mobile phones, like for example, tungsten, or antimony, things like that, those elements will not be available in pure form. You have to find out some other ways to make mobile phones. Otherwise, you have to aggregate. Now, so that is why today electronics waste is becoming a big business, because people are taking electronic waste and recycling them, and they're removing gold or tungsten or other kind of elements. But that is practically is very difficult to. One is practically difficult. Second thing is that you will not get the quantity that you want. That is why resource efficiency is the one of the primary focus of government of India as well. There is in G20 there is a committee on resource efficiency and circular economy. I am a member of that committee, and we are trying to find out how we can improve resource efficiency in all areas of businesses and operations. The resource efficiency, in simple terms, is that you do the same work with as minimum resource possible. As minimum resource. If you are consuming, for example, to make a car, if you are consuming 1,000 kiloliter of water, you should be able to do that in 500 kiloliter or 100 kiloliter. If you are able to do that, you are resource efficient. Because water scarcity is one of the biggest problem, which is part related to climate change, also part related to overconsumption and pollution. But then, how do you manage that? Can you imagine a situation where you don't find fresh water for your daily use? In many places, it's already happening. We are lucky in places like Mumbai, you have plenty of fresh water resource available as of now. In many places like even Delhi, your river is there, your river Jamuna is there. Wherever there is a good river and it is not polluted, you have a chance of getting fresh water. Groundwater resource is already depleting to a very great extent. It is becoming extremely difficult to get groundwater. I have seen in Rajasthan, they get groundwater from 400 feet, 500 feet below the surface. They extract it. And they run the businesses, they run resorts, and they live in that kind of situation. Now, the point is that natural resource has been given to us. It is in plentifully available, but misuse is creating problem, nothing else. And now it is time that we all take cognizance of that, and we all make sure that we use these principles. These are all principles in terms of technological principles, but that can be applied in a very simple manner, general way. In fact, in India, this circular economy is there for generations, like using your old cloths, making something out of it. Or we normally use, repurpose the old materials and do something. Jugaad, we say jugaad, but this happens across the country. I can just give you an example of India. It may be happening elsewhere also, but this is what circular economy is. Now, there are many other aspects to the whole case of sustainability. A lot of new frameworks are coming. A lot of new policies are changing across the world. The IFRS, which is they develop the standard for the finance people. So globally, everybody follows the IFRS standards. And IFRS is consolidated and coming out with a new global body. They have already come out. It is called International Sustainability Standards Board, ISSB. And ISSB is coming out with a new standard, which will eliminate all other standards, which will remove all other standards, and company have to follow only these standards. And there are two sections. One is on general sustainability standards, and another is specifically on climate change. So once that comes into picture, and I think I understand that it will be released in the around September, October of this year, 2023, and it will be rolled out in 24. Then all companies will follow the standards. And that is a game changer, actually. That will make huge changes across the world. So what is important to understand that for companies, for businesses, and for everybody, that we must anticipate the future. We must see what is coming in 5 years, 10 years down the line. I must plan today. I'll give you a very good example. Today, BRSR is talking about human rights. It's a single principle. Principle 5 is all about human rights. I did human rights due diligence 10 years back. That time it was not mandated. But some proactive companies, they do it. So this is how actually everybody has to work on to understand the requirement, to understand that everything is connected, to understand that creating value is very important, and to understand that we are not isolated species. We are very much part of the nature, and we have to, if we have to survive, if you have to live a good life, if you can give a good future to our young people, our future generations, then we must understand how to create this balance. If you don't create the balance, then this 1.5 degree target it cannot be achieved. It will be very difficult. And then also, the 2 degree target by 2050. Simply, taking the commitment will not help. So my urge to there are many students here I can see. So my simple submission would be that we must understand this very well. We must understand this 360-degree approach. Try to connect everything. How each of this, how CSR, how environment, how governance, they are interconnected, and how we can make this balance. If you understand that, if you create that balance, then we will be the winners. Otherwise, our future is at stake, and we, at least those who are at senior level, we don't want to see a very bad future for our children, right? So with this, thank you so much, Dr. Bhatia and everybody. I stay here, and if there is any question, I can take. Thank you.